The Atlantic Ocean, one of the greatest forces of nature. A bridge and an abyss. For thousands of years, it stroked fear in humans. But for a great number of other animals, although treacherous, it has been a home for millennia, and its secrets and shelters have been sought for ages. The clash between ocean and land can be deadly, and the power of the waves incessantly mashes the rocks. But the animals that inhabit the coast learn to adapt to these conditions. The flocks of birds that populate the rough cliffs are masters of resilience and adaptation. The Atlantic is where every river and creek formed in Portugal comes to an end. High waterfalls are formed when this happens in sharp and elevated terrain, but there are more placid ways of fresh water arriving at sea. It's when rivers reach the sea in the wide plains that one of the richest and most thriving habitats in our planet is formed, the lagoons. The Ria Formosa, in the southern coast of the Algarve, is a protected area since 1987. It's formed by salt marshes, lagoons, lakes, and islands. Its brackish waters are extremely rich in minerals dragged by the river from inland, which provide the base that feeds a great number of small invertebrates that inhabit these shallow and warm waters. The vegetation is very rich, and wildlife proliferates everywhere. A lagoon is a great flat terrain where the sea waters mix with the river ends, forming great areas rich with nutrients and vegetation. In the south of Portugal, this also means that great dune complexes are formed by the strong winds that hit the shore here. Behind these dunes, towards the sea, are the world-famous beaches of the Algarve. The sea is calm here, and slow tides offer plenty of food for opportunists. This temperate climate invites all who come through here to stay for a while. One of the birds that feeds here, a numerous one, is the common ringed plover. This small bird inhabits all kinds of wetlands and coastal habitats, and is a great traveler. It breeds in early summer, on beaches around the Arctic, coming further down south for the rest of the year, where it is warmer. A social animal, it pairs up only in breeding season. Now it lives in small groups. This has its advantages when in need of a rest. There is safety in numbers. On the other side of the river that runs side by side with the beach are the big pine woods. The trees offer shelter from the wind, and the lighter birds take cover in their branches. The swallows, the quintessential traveller, are common this time of the year. They gather and regroup during their travels, recognizing the same spots where they have been coming for years. This particular habitat has a high value for Europe, especially regarding migratory birds, for it is a passage point to and from the great African continent. The Ria Formosa is also one of the very few places in Europe where a unique reptile still lives. It is an endangered species and increasingly rare in this region. The chameleon. It is one of the most impressive hunters in the world. With stereoscopic vision and skin cells that adjust its coloration, it is a killing machine. It feeds on several species of insects that populate these woods, like the grasshoppers. It shoots its enormous tongue at its prey, which is immediately pulled into its mouth. Witnessing a chameleon's attack is truly an unforgettable experience. Right by the woods, on the inner part of the lagoon, are the lakes. They harvest a vast array of aquatic species and provide the base of the food chain for a great number of songbirds as well. Of all the inhabitants of the lake, there is one that, for its spectacular appearance and for having been at the verge of extinction, is the symbol of the reserve. The most suspicious of the lake's birds is the purple swampfern. Its prehistoric look is not a coincidence. Birds are close relatives of reptiles, and they have a common ancestral contemporary of the dinosaurs. Its bright red beak and forehead are unmistakable and reveal its identity from behind the tall grass where it hides and nests. But when it is looking for food, it comes out a bit more, although ever suspicious. It is looking for the stalks of the fresh leaves, and it feeds on great quantities daily. Its unusually long legs are perfect for moving in these shallow waters, and also for eating. Not so good for swimming though. This amazing bird is coming back from near extinction, and with a bit of luck it will remain with us for a long time. At dusk, the lake begins to soar with life. The egrets that have spent the entire day foraging for insects in the fields and wetlands of the park fly back here to spend the night in their favorite dormitories. The variety of this ecosystem is the main reason for its great biodiversity. One very particular source of food are the salt pans. Their unique chemical characteristics create special conditions for several species of arthropods, which in turn attract opportunists. In the salt pans, still active but mostly harmless for wildlife, the birds' collaboration is welcome. Their droppings actually improve the quality of the salt. Most of the birds here feed off what's in the bottom. And there is one source of food that is particularly valuable when looked at individually It is invisible, but when in great quantity, it is quite beautiful. The brine shrimp. It lives on waters with a high concentration of salt, and in turn they attract another very special species to the salt pans, the flamingo. These majestic animals owe their amazing color to the chemicals inside the brine shrimp. Juveniles, before they are sexually mature, are pale, and they won't become colorful until they are 4 years old. Adults need to eat great quantities of brine shrimp to attain the pink colors typical of these amazing animals. This region, although protected, is very far from the beauty and splendor that once inhabited this part of the world. During the 20th century, the savage depletion of the great stocks of tuna completely destroyed the species' viability here. Today, at the Barrel Beach, the tuna fishing stations are now an eco-friendly tourism infrastructure, left with the reminding of the destructive power of human enterprise. For centuries, man has exploited the lagoon economically. The seafood farms and harvesting, as well as fishing, have been a source of income for local people for many generations. But more recently, another source of income is driving this habitat towards destruction. Attracted to the tourism industry, people are building hotels, apartments, golf courses, and other infrastructures in illegal land, seriously compromising the ecosystem and its viability. We are destroying the very same resources that people are coming here for. The local fauna can't handle this conflict. To try to counter this situation is a non-governmental organization. The RIAS is a wildlife rehabilitation center, among other things, and it is managed by the Aldea Association. It is located right in the heart of the natural park, and it serves the purpose of treating wild animals in order to release them back to the wild in good condition. More than 1,000 animals enter the center every year, and a lot of them carry good chances of surviving. Several key species of this habitat, like the little owl, an important predator of rodents and other pests, is a common patient at the clinic. It is a nocturnal bird of prey, so it is commonly found injured by the roads due to collision with speeding cars. Young chicks are the most numerous group of patients at the clinic. Found abandoned, most of the times orphaned, they are brought to the center to be raised by the capable hands of the team. Both aquatic and terrestrial species of all sizes and shapes all deserve a fair attempt at a life in the wild. They carry the hope of one day the Ria Formosa maintaining a sustainable and diverse biotope. Dr. Fabia Azevedo has an unusual patient in her hands. This great bustard is not from around here. It was brought from the big steppes of the Alentejo, further north from here, and is too young to feed on its own. Dr. Fabia is trying to trick the chick into thinking it is feeding from its mother beak, and it seems to be working. Now, although it never had a mother, maybe it will get a chance to go back into its natural habitat and play its part in the natural world. Another main activity of the RIAS is environmental education. Working together with schools, they are reaching the children of the Algarve and passing on the values of environmental respect and preservation. Today, this class was invited to witness the release of a wild chameleon. The team hopes that this event will help these children to continue to be sensitive to the problems wild animals are facing today in the modern world. This one individual has the seed for its species continuity in this amazing wild wonder of Europe. A place chosen by thousands to rest and gain energies during their travels between two continents. A diverse ecosystem with a great variety of habitats and vegetation. The Ria Formosa is a spectacular reserve that justifies all efforts of preservation.